What's up guys, my name is Robin and welcome back to Get to Know Me on my channel RobzarrGoesRawr. Now today I'm going to be doing a top 5 of my favourite TV shows, number 1 being my most favourite on the planet, and number 5 being my 5th most favourite on the planet, I guess. So I'm going to be doing a top 5 of that. As you guys know, I love my TV series, even though I don't even know if that's a word, series I've only had an actual TV license and TV box in my flat for the last like month, but it's been good having it back. I've watched a lot of stuff online. I mean, I've got like Netflix and shit, so it's like it's been like I get really addicted to TV series really easily. As you guys probably would have noticed, are Pretty Little Liars. I know I promised I wouldn't do another video on them, and I'm not doing another video on them, but they might be in this video a little bit. So without further ado, let's go to my top 5 TV shows. Okay, my number 5 is The Flash, and The Flash in the Arrowverse. The Flash is my favourite TV show in the Arrowverse, actually. I do really like Arrow, but I think The Flash is more exciting to watch because it's actually a guy with superpowers. I think the story's a lot more interesting as well because, you know, it's not just kind of like guys. I don't want to sound like I don't like Arrow because I really like Arrow, but I think The Flash is just a lot more interesting to watch because it's a guy that's got super speed defeating other people with superpowers, and it's not just a guy with a bow and arrow. And as much as I really enjoy the Arrow is a much more realistic TV show to watch, and it's really strange considering it's still like a superhero TV show. But in reality, Green Arrow has nothing more than a bow and arrow with like major skills and like a lot of muscle, whereas The Flash has actual kind of like super speed and like actual powers. So it's like I find it a lot more exhilarating. It's a lot more exciting, and like overall, The Flash TV show has been like one of my favorite TV shows for the last 2 years. It's only got 2 seasons, but I really love the acting in it. I think like the humor behind it is brilliant. It's brilliant. When they have their serious moments, you're just there like, I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna get a tear down my face, and you know there's constant mystery behind it, and it's just I think it's a fantastic TV show. I've never seen The Flash interpreted in a way that I can't remember his name is Grant Austin, I think, the way Grant Austin plays The Flash. And I've said this before in a previous video, I'm really gutted he's not playing The Flash in the DC Cinematic Universe, but we won't go into that too much because I'll just go rant on to something else. But I really like The Flash TV show. It is, yeah, it's great. If you haven't watched it, then what are you doing with your life? It's great. Go watch it like right now. Pause this video. Go watch The Flash. It's great. My number 4 is Sherlock. I'm going to say Sherlock. I was in a mixture between Doctor Who and Sherlock, but I think Sherlock is my number 4. Now, I really like the Sherlock Holmes stories. I read them a lot when I was in school. We studied them in school. I've always been a fan of murder mystery TV shows in general, so when I found out they were going to do a Sherlock TV show, I was like, this is going to be the best thing ever. And then they cast Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, and I was just like, oh my god, this really is going to be the best thing ever. And, you know, there's other Sherlock TV shows that I watch as well, like Elementary. But I think Sherlock is a much more kind of like in-depth and true to the original stories adaptation with a modern twist of the Sherlock Holmes stories, which is really like satisfying to watch. Elementary being a US TV series, you kind of get the 21 episode or 24 episode, however many there are now, episode seasons at a time, whereas Sherlock has 3 episodes per season. And they're an hour and a half long, whereas the ones for Elementary are just under an hour long. And I don't know what, it's strange because on the surface they're basically the same thing. They're a modern take on Sherlock Holmes. Elementary being a 21 or between 21 and 24 episode series can't always stay true to the actual Sherlock Holmes storylines. They need to kind of like add new things into the mix, whereas Sherlock being a three episode series can stay very true to the original stories and just give them a modern twist. And that being said, like, each episode is given, like, each story is given, like, a complete episode to kind of, like, come across to the audience. And then on top of that, you've got the ongoing story between Sherlock and Moriarty, and it's just really satisfying to watch. And with all the text that comes up on the screen and things like that, it's really cool to see how they display his mind palace and how they show the things that he's recognizing between people when he's kind of like studying them and reading them and things like that. And you know, there's been Sherlock films. The Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes films are fantastic as well. Like I said, I do just love. I'm a sucker for a good murder mystery, but there is something about the way Sherlock is presented as a whole package that draws me in a lot more than any other Sherlock Holmes adaptation on TV and film. And for that reason, it is my number 4. Okay, now I just mentioned Doctor Who. Now Doctor Who is going to be my number 3. Doctor Who is one of my absolute favourite TV shows. In fact, it is my 3rd favourite TV show. And I've got to say, I am loving how Peter Capaldi is portraying the Doctor in the more recent seasons. When I first found out that the Doctor was going to be an older gentleman, then I found out, I was like a little bit worried. Then I found out it was going to be Peter Capaldi, and I was like less worried, but still like, how is this going to work? Because there's always that dynamic between the Doctor and the companion, that almost like romantic dynamic. And I was just there like, how is that going to work? Because obviously the Doctor is still the same person in a different body. So for the companion, that must be like the biggest mindfuck ever, because it's gone from being like David Tennant to Matt Smith, both really attractive guys, to Peter Capaldi. And I'm not saying he's bad looking, but he's an older gentleman. And you know, the companion at the time, Clara, must have been just there like, what the fuck is going on? Because I think she had a bit of a crush on Matt Smith's Doctor. But it's been really great to see, because it's strange, because everyone's just there like, who's your favourite Doctor? And I've got to say, I do have a soft spot for Christopher Eccleston's Doctor. I really liked him as the Doctor, but everyone's just there like, who's your favourite Doctor? And it's really strange, because every time a new person plays the Doctor, I feel like they're a completely new character in the show, even though they are just a continuation of someone else's character. But it's really, really nice to see that they can get people with such, like, I had a bit of a problem with Matt Smith to begin with, and I know a lot of people had this problem. He was too much like David Tennant, and that bothered me, because when the Doctor regenerates, even though he has his memories, he's supposed to be, like, on the outside, a completely different person. He's supposed to act differently, he's supposed to have different, like, preferences and things like that. And I found at the beginning Matt Smith was too much like David Tennant, and that was probably down to the fact that David Tennant had a really long run on as the Doctor after Christopher Eccleston only had like 1 season. David Tennant had been the Doctor for a good few years. So for Matt, completely lost his name. What's his name? Oh my god. Oh my god, I just said his name. What's his name? Oh my god, what was his name? Matt. Christopher Eccleston. Oh my god, David Tennant. Matt Smith. So for Matt Smith to come back, and I don't know, such memory loss there. So for Matt Smith to come back and like take over this role that had been played by someone for so many years, it must have been a case of, we want to ease people into it, but by the end of it, he had his own character and he had his own way of doing things, so that was really cool. So when Peter Capaldi got announced as the Doctor, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be a completely different way of looking at things, and I was just there like, it's not going to be good, but actually, if I had to pick a Doctor, even though I have a soft spot for Christopher Eccleston, I really like how Peter Capaldi is running the show at the moment. I don't know where things are going with the next season, actually, because I think Clara's gone now. She's got her own TARDIS that is shaped like a restaurant or whatever. So I don't know where things are going with Doctor Who anymore, because I think there's going to be a new companion, but I think he'll probably have some episodes on his own first. Yeah, I really like Doctor Who. I love the fact that a new Doctor comes in and brings new life to this character in their own way. because it is like a character dying and then coming back to life. That is basically what it is when he's regenerating. He comes back to life as a different person, and the fact that they've managed to get such like incredibly diverse but incredibly well suited doctors so far has been great. So yeah, I like Doctor Who. My number 2. Now, a lot of you are probably going to say, why the fuck is this not your number 1 after you've talked about it all week on the channel? My number 1 is reserved for a very special TV show, which I'll talk about shortly. My second favourite TV show is Pretty Little Liars at the moment. And that's probably going to stay the same until I find another TV show similar to it. I'm just stroking my cat's belly. I'm stroking Siffy Lou's belly. She's so soft. Until I find another TV show to binge watch. But I'm not going to talk a lot about Pretty Little Liars because I've talked about it all week. It is my second favourite TV show. I think it just stems from the fact that the actors are so kind of like in tune with their fans, and the TV show's story is basically like a black hole that sucks you in and doesn't let you go until you've seen every single thing that is available for you to watch. And that's kind of like how I felt when I was watching it last week. I just felt like I had been sucked into this thing, and I couldn't get out until I was done with it. So, you know, that's not a bad thing. I really enjoyed the TV show, and I'm sad that I've got into it so late because I've like got myself addicted to it, and now there's only 1 season left, plus the potential movie, and I'm just there like, why did I not watch this sooner? I could have had like years of like joy out of this TV show. And I'm not saying I'm not going to rewatch it, because I'll definitely rewatch it, but it's just kind of like, how have I not bumped into this TV show previously? And it's my own stubborn fault, because people have been telling me for years, watch Pretty Little Liars, watch Pretty Little Liars. I'm just like, no, I've seen the adverts, it looks like some shitty teen drama, and actually it is fantastic. I really, really like it. And yeah, I'm not going to talk about it anymore, because otherwise this just end up being another Pretty Little Liars video, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But yeah, Pretty Little Liars is my number 2 favourite TV show. And number 1, now, you guys, this should be obvious, Big Bang Theory is my number 1 TV show. I adore this TV show more than I adore some of my friends, I think. I love the idea that it's a TV show that is given a voice to people that wouldn't necessarily get a voice. People that are into their video games and their like TV series and their movie marathons and their collectibles and all their comic books and things like that. It's given them people a voice and actually made them look cool, which is really... I got my cat licking my arm. Hey, little beauty bear. And it's really cool that they've given like people like that a voice and addressed some like serious issues and managed to kind of make them light-hearted but not make fun of them. You know, things like selective mutism and kind of like attachment and things like that have been attached in the TV show. Have been oh god, what was my train of thought? They've been subject to the TV show, and they've not made it look like it's not a big deal, but they've kind of made it feel like people with that shouldn't have to suffer, because it's everyday life that people have got problems like this, and it's kind of like the fact that they give more light-hearted way of looking at it is refreshing, because they make it look like it's not a big deal, and in a lot of ways it's not. It's just how life is, you know. Some people have got problems that can't be resolved, and that's completely okay. And this TV show just kind of puts that on a bit of a light-hearted spin a little bit, and just kind of being like, it's okay. If you've got friends around you that support you, they'll probably take the mickey out of you a little bit, but they're there to support you, and they're there to help you. And actually, a few weeks back, I actually ended up becoming really good friends with a group of people that are like my own Big Bang Theory group, and we've bonded really quickly over these little things like video games and comic books and like the Batman vs Superman movie and Big Bang Theory itself. We've all bonded and we joke around being like, yeah, I would be this character, you would be this character, and you would be this character, blah blah blah. And it's really refreshing actually, because like I've got all my like friends that I go down the pub with when I've got free time, when I've got my best friends and things like that, and it's nice to have that because everyone's really different. like with like me and my really close friends, are all really different people. So it's nice to have a group of friends that are like clones of my, I say clones, they're gonna kill me when they watch this, so are like almost clones of myself. They've got the same interests, they like the same things, and they've got like the same mindset as me. They've got the same kind of like way of doing things that I do, and it's really refreshing to have that group of people there to talk to them about something that's been like irking me in a TV show or in a comic book or in a film, and be like, oh my god, did you see this happen, blah blah blah, and then we'll like talk about it for ages and like pick it apart. And it's really nice to be able to do that with a group of people. And I'm not saying that I don't appreciate my other friends, because obviously I do. My friends mean the world to me, but it's really nice to have a group of people that I feel like I can just completely be myself with. Again, I'm not saying I can't be myself around my friends, but there's certain subjects that you bring up and people are just there like, they have no idea what you're talking about. And that's not their fault. I haven't got a problem with that. I don't want to sound like I'm being a bitch towards my friends, but there's, you know, everyone's got different interests, and there's a limit you can take on different conversations about your own interests before people start switching off, and that is just how life is. And I don't begrudge my friends for doing that, because I do the exact same thing to them. So it's nice to have a group of people that I can actually like talk for hours about one thing about, and be like, we'll take this thing apart piece by piece and be like, actually this was why this happened and blah blah blah. And it is like having my own Big Bang Theory family in a lot of ways, and it's really refreshing. And you know, the TV show is something that you can put on when you're upset, when you're happy, when you're busy, when you're and just want something in the background, or when you're intently trying to watch each episode one by one. I've watched every episode at least 10 times, I'm pretty sure. I have every episode on a hard drive, and I just, if I'm in and I've got time, or if I'm in and I'm doing something and want some background noise, Big Bang Theory is on my telly. And it's just such a joy to watch, because it's so like, it's like the subjects of it are so serious, like things like Nobel Prizes and like medical conditions and relationships and marriage and things like that. And because of the comical, light-hearted twist they have to it, it's really easy to watch, and it makes me feel like the problems that I might be having on that day are like completely irrelevant, because you're just there like, hey, these people are getting on with their lives and they've been over this and this and this and this, and I'm just there like, what the fuck am I worrying about my problems for? So it's really refreshing, and I absolutely adore it. I'm gonna be so sad when it ends. You guys don't even know. I'm probably gonna like become like a recluse when Big Bang Theory ends. I'm just gonna not do anything, and you'll get like an occasional video of me just crying on YouTube, and it's gonna be freaking awful. Get off of that, you can't eat my phone cable. You can't eat my phone cable, little missus. So yeah, I'm really going to be a mess when it ends, but until that happens, until that sorrowful day happens, I am quite content in saying that Big Bang Theory, for the foreseeable future, is going to be my #1 favourite TV series on the planet. I adore it. If you don't watch it, you should. If you've never seen it, then get yourself out from that rock that you've been living under and into the real world and watch some TV. And yeah, so that's my top 5 TV shows. I want to know what your top 5 TV shows are in the comments below, and I want to know what you thought about my top 5 TV shows in the comments below as well. That's going to be it from me for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you keep an eye out for the rest of the videos that are coming on the channel this week, and until the next time you hear from me, guys, as always, stay classy, gamers.